Hey there guys, this is Travis with Alpha and Beta Cards and Collectibles out in Citrus Heights, California, or A&B for short. We are a local game store in the Sacramento area. We started this channel to help spread the various metas and strategies that come from Sacramento area, ranging from the various games that come through our store, starting with Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Vanguard, even Warhammer 40k. And today this video is going to be about a deck tech on my personal deck, Junk Midrange, or as I lovingly called it, Junk Walkers, as you can see from the myriad of Planeswalkers over here. So this is a deck that developed during Pro Tour Knicks. Patrick Shaban was running something similar to this. He called Junk Midrange, or Junk Rares also, because it had the entire deck pretty much rare. So looking at Patrick Shaban's list, I knew it was something I really enjoyed, considering it had not just Coursers, but Thoughtseize and Hero's Downfall. But I felt that it could be made a little bit better once the M15 hit, and including the goodies from the Ravnica block. So this is the concoction I came up with. I've been playing with it for a couple of weeks now, ever since M15 hit. And I've been doing it to some pretty good success. A couple of tops at our F&Ms, at our local F&M, as well as a few tops at a couple other local stores. So I'm just going to kind of go over the deck and explain my thoughts on it and how it's worked for me. So the whole point of the deck, very obviously, is to play Planeswalkers and win. You do that by controlling the board, making sure your life doesn't hit 0, and making sure your Planeswalkers actually get to ultimate range, or they're able to use their abilities enough that it actually creates enough advantage for you to pull off a victory. So to keep the board clear and your life total up, we start off with a good selection of kill spells. Right now, main deck, I have 9, which start off with 2 Bioblights, 3 Abrupt Decays, and 4 Downfalls. I feel that this is a pretty good division of kill spells. You know, with the Abrupt Decays, they protect us not only from aggro threats such as Fleece Mane, Soldier of the Pantheon, even Courser. It also protects us from Detention Sphere and Banishing Light. So, you know, they Banishing Light one of our Planeswalkers, our creatures. We're able to Abrupt Decay and get it back. Bioblight is just a fantastic card. It helps us in the aggro matchups, as well as occasionally, you never know when you might need a double Bioblight, a dragon or a demon. Doesn't happen very often, but once in a while. And then Downfall, one of the best kill spells we've had in a long time. 3 mana, instant speed, destroy creature or Planeswalker. It's just amazing. Deals with Dragon, Polychronos, even opposing Elspeths. Now, Thoughtseize is a card that if you haven't played Standard in a while, you may have missed. But Thoughtseize is back, and it's back with a vengeance. Fantastic card. The best first turn play in this entire deck is Thoughtseize, very obviously. The ability to just pick a card from your opponent's hand, oftentimes something you normally can't deal with at that exact moment. Thoughtseizing, control, aggro, mid-range, doesn't matter. Pulling something out of their hand just so they can't use it is fantastic. Now we get into the creature lineup. It's a little mid-rangey for the creature lineup. I could have probably went a little bit more control, but I felt that these creatures work as both control and creature base. So we start with the mana fixing. We have 3 Carrotids here. The Carrotids just give me the fixing I need, considering I have so much double black and double white, as well as the occasional double green like on the Courser. And then also, you know, the Planeswalkers are various colors. So the Carrotid also lets me ramp as well. I mean, a turn 4 Liliana, a turn 4 Ajani. It's fantastic. And then the Courser lets me cycle through my deck. Running 26 lands, I have quite a few lands that end up on top of the deck. Courser lets me prevent having from so many dead draws. As well as an incremental life gain, 1 life per turn. Nothing to shake a stick at, considering, you know, I've played games where I've been down to 5 life, and I would have been down to 0 if I hadn't gained 5 life over the course of the game via the Courser. Now the other creatures I run are 3 Desecration Demons, 1 Obsidat, 1 Resolute Archangel, and 1 Blood Baron of Vizkopa. Now the 3 Death Demons are there because they work not only as a semi-control creature, considering opponent can sack to it, but it's also a 6/6 for 4. The value in that's amazing. Against aggro matchups, they usually can't get over the 6/6 butt, as well as the fact that it flies, so it blocks Dragon, as well as a couple of the flyers that exist, you know, Prognostic Sphinx, and then some of the mono blue decks that pop up here or there, Desecration Demon can deal with. Obsidat's in here for the control matchup. Just playing an Obsidat and flickering every turn, the incremental life gain and life loss has won me the game. Blood Baron is the same concept. You drop him against control, they can't really deal with him aside from a verdict. Same thing with mono black or white weenie. They just can't deal with Blood Baron. Nothing they can do. And Resolute Archangel is a card I teched in. I dropped a 4th Desecration Demon for the Archangel. And the Archangel has proven to be fantastic. The deck kind of verges on control. Now, the issue with this is I have no life gain. With blue-white control, you have Sphinx's Rev. You can gain 10 to 20 life a game, not very difficultly. But with the Archangel, I'm able to go back from almost losing to full life off of 1 creature and still have a 4/4 flyer on board, which I can then pump with a Johnny or even eat with Garruk for even more life. So the Archangel's proven to be so good, especially considering I can tutor for it with Liliana Vess, put on top of the deck, draw it next turn and play it, not lose the game. Now we'll get into the Planeswalker lineup here. It's a pretty simple lineup. We got 2 Ajani's, 2 Lilianas, 2 Elspeths, 2 the new Garruk, and 1 Vraska. Now I'm just going down the choices here. The Ajani is fantastic in the deck. His first +1 to put counters on something is great. 3 +1/+1 counters on a Courser or even a Carotid makes them just an amazing blocker. 3 counters on a Blood Baron in certain matchups will just win you the game hands down. Now his +1 to dig is amazing because we run so many Planeswalkers and actually pretty creature heavy. I'm normally able to get something I need from that +1. And also lets me cycle through lands or even sometimes spells I don't need. So late game Thoughtseize is okay, but I'd rather ship it to the bottom and take another Blood Baron or a Desecration Demon to my hand, or maybe another Planeswalker. And then his -8, gain 100 life. That just is what it is. I've gotten her off a couple of times, and it's always been funny. But when you get to his ultimate to gain 100 life, you're normally winning the game by that point anyways. Liliana is great in the control matchup as well as the mid-range matchup. That +1 to discard a card, it just hurts their hand. You know, many times I've played her, they've discarded that last card, which may have been a Storm Breath or even a Chandra. Her -2, that tutor is pretty amazing. Search for exactly what you need at that moment. Puts you on top and be able to draw it next turn. The -8 I've used a couple of times, especially against like mono black, where they've ignored the Liliana because they've drawn 4 cards a turn, and I play a bunch of other threats, such as, an Archangel, an Obsidat, a Desecration Demon. Got to keep killing it. -8 Liliana, get all the creatures they killed back into play. Elspeth, Sun's Champion. She's proven herself time and time again, especially in block constructed for Theros and Journey to Nyx. Best card in Theros, in my opinion. The +1 protects herself, -3 protects herself, and the -7 wins you the game. Very simple, amazing. Garruk, the new Garruk is fantastic. You +1 him, you either kill a Planeswalker or get a 3/3 Death Touch, both great value. His -3 is what he gets used for most, though, especially against the mid-range matchup. -3, I eat your giant creature, I gain a bunch of life. Time and time again, I've played Garruk, ate their creature, played another Garruk, ate their creature, just because it kept me alive and cleared their board. Then, of course, Vraska obviously is in here for her -3. We are able to -3 and destroy a non-creature permanent. Her +1 doesn't really play a factor usually, and I've never actually killed someone with her assassin tokens. She normally gets -3, +1, -3 again, to deal with multiple creatures or artifact threats that I don't have an answer for. And then also, I forgot to mention Garruk's ultimate, the -8, is pretty devastating. I've gotten her off a few times, and just swinging in with a 7/9 Courser Crucifix is frightening in itself. Couple that with Elspeth Emblem, and that's just a game breaker right there. Now, this is the deck. It's pretty self-explanatory. Control the board with kill spells, play some good stuff, curve out into Planeswalkers. The deck doesn't look like much, but when you play it, just has a very, very solid build and control aspect. The only thing I might change is right now I have it teched for our meta, which is very aggro-based. I may take out some, maybe an Abrupt Decay and maybe a Courser for more card draw. And also something about changing the Obsidat to a possible Polar Chronos. I've yet to decide. But also, once rotation hits, the deck will change a bit. But I do feel this is what I'm going to play after rotation. Now, let's look at the land base here for a second. I am running 26 land total, which may seem like a lot, but with this deck and my highest drop being that Garruk at 7, and I want to play him at 7 and Elspeth at 6. I don't want to miss much of my land drops. So 26 land is fantastic. I'm able to hit land from 1 to 6. And with Courser and Carotid, it even just solidifies that even more. So I start the land off with, obviously, 2 Mutavaults. They're just fantastic in most matchups. Having a creature that could not be a creature, so they can't kill it. It's fantastic, but then it's a creature when you need it to be. As well as coupled with a Johnny, a 5/5 Mutavault is no joke. Plus, when the counters stay, it's a 5/5 permanently. 2 Urborgs, Tomb of Yawgmoth, just because it turns my Mutavaults and my Pain lands to tap for black mana without having to pay any life. That comes in handy, especially when you want a early game Desecration even, but your opening hand is, you know, these with forests. So then, of course, we go into the white-black. So we get 1 Cave of Kalios, 2 Godless Shrines, and 4 Temple of Silences. This is just the mana fixing, as well as the Temples Let Me Scry, which is fantastic in this deck. Shipping things to the bottom I don't need helps me really get there. And then we go into the green mana fixing, so we have 4 Temples of Malady, 4 Overgrown Tombs, and then 3 Llanowar Wastes. Once again, the Llanowar Waste and the Cave of Kalios with the Urborg is just fantastic. We just have 4 basic lands, 3 swamps and 1 forest. I think I'm going to change one of the swamps to plains, actually, just because I have a lot of double white in the deck, and getting the double white early is really vital sometimes. So that's the land base. At 26 land, I feel it's perfect. But I may tweak with the colors a bit, especially once rotation hits. I might go with Polychronos in the deck, or something else depending on what Khans gives us, especially since Junk will be a supported color in Khans. So sideboard-wise, it's pretty straightforward. We have 4 Duresses, which are fantastic with the control matchup, as well as against red-green monsters, plucking those Planeswalkers from their hand. Another Vraska is just great to deal with mid-range and control. Vraska can eat their big dudes, or kill their Planeswalkers, or even, act like an Abrupt Decay and pop a D-Sphere or Banishing Light. 1 more Abrupt Decay for the aggro and the control matchups. 2 Blood Barons. Blood Baron is just fantastic, especially against mono black, mono white, or even control. Stick a Blood Baron against blue white, there's nothing they can do about it short of countering it, or maybe bouncing it back to your hand, which is fantastic. They have to Verdict to get rid of it. And then, of course, we have 4 Lifebane Zombies for the monsters matchups. So red-green monsters, Junk Midrange, and white weenie. Lifebane Zombie just eats their hand, and then is a 3/1 Intimidate, which is great, especially if you go turn 3 Lifebane, turn 4 a Johnny. Having a 6/4 Lifebane swinging in is amazing. Then it goes up to a 9/7. There's nothing they're going to do about that short of just kill spelling it, but even then, the decks he comes in against don't really run many kill spells. We have 1 ultimate price for the mid-range matchups, Polychronos, Desecration Demons, and then also Stormbreath Dragons, which are difficult to deal with at times. An extra Bile Blight comes in for the aggro matchups. Very obvious reasoning. And then, of course, Erebos, God of the Dead for the control matchup as well as some of the Naya Auras lists gain a lot of life, so dropping him early, like turn 3 with a Carotid, lets me deal with that so I can keep them low. Especially with the Hexproof, I can't really do much about Hexproof decks right now, short of destroy their enchantments and play bigger creatures than them. So yeah, this is my Junk Midrange or Junk Walkers list. I actually expect to see it popping up in popularity soon, especially since a Jund Walkers list just topped at the last SCG event. Overall, I love the deck. It does its job pretty well, and Garruk is a beast in the deck. I can't wait for rotation when I get to experiment more with it, especially see what Khans gives us. So that's a broadcast for the day, guys. This is the Deck Tech with Travis, owner here at A&B Comics. Check us out also at Twitch, A&B Cards, one word. We stream every Friday and Saturday, as well as check us out for new videos.